Hello everyone, welcome back to Gaming Droid and welcome back to modern Skyblock 3. For some reason we have a skeletal horse over here. No idea why he's there. So I've been setting up a little bit of automation, doing some things while I've been waiting for this to tick over and give us research papers. I needed to get to Mercury. I did a little bit of looking up because I wasn't 100% sure what was going on. And I found out I needed to get to Mercury. So you'll now see that we now actually have Mercury available on our map. To show you how much time it has taken me, each one of these represents more than one satellite. Each one of these represents between 3 and 5 satellites, depending on when I did it. And if I look at the map, before I found Mercury, because Mercury was the most recent thing I found, I found freaking Kepler C, Kepler 47, Kepler 22, and Kepler 62. So I found all of these Keplers before I found freaking Mercury here, which is a tier 3 planet. Now that's the next one we need to go to. In the meantime, I've upgraded myself to tier 3 thermal padding. Really simple, just compressed desh ingots, or compressed desh, which we had plenty of. You saw me enchant my soul armor last time and get the shield module last time. I've also, while I've been waiting for that, I've been doing some chicken breeding, and I've also been doing a little bit of work on this. I've set up a outflow that's pulling excess blood into this, so we've got 256 buckets of blood, and I made myself some displacement runes just to speed that up. And we expanded the villager thing. For some reason, I think I found it something to do with chunk loading. Because if I load into the world and immediately come and start working on killing these guys, none of them fail to die properly. So it's something to do with chunk loading, I believe. In the meantime, I've also been working on the fusion cores that I need, these guys. So over here, I've been crushing up pulverized coal and tin. I've been making circuit boards. It's just a really simple... some people might say, why haven't you fully automated this and attached it into your ME system and things? But if I do this, then the resulting amount is more than I'm probably going to need for a long time, and it takes not particularly long to process. So at the moment, like, one of the major kind of sticking points is the amount of beryllium I have, but also basically what I'm struggling to make enough of is these guys, because these guys require crushed tin, crushed coal, and copper plates, and then on top of that they require beryllium, and then they require 8 of them to make one. So it's 8 to make one, 4 to make one, and this to make one of those. So it's quite kind of time consuming, but I have been making stacks of copper plates and things. But in the meantime, before we do any of that, I think it's time to grab our tier 3 rocket and our launch pad and head up to Mercury, because Mercury is apparently where I'm going to be getting most of the things I need, like the tier 4 rocket schematic, etc. So let's just check everything. We've got oxygen, we've got our shield generator, we've got thermal protection, we've got fully charged space tier 2 space equipment, which should be enough because this is a tier 3 planet. And to get tier 3 spacesuit, what we need is that we could do. This, we need palladium ingots, and palladium ingots come from Jupiter. So we're going to need to get to Jupiter before we can make the next tier of spacesuit. Let's make sure we have full fuel. We've got everything we need. We've got our wireless crafting terminal. So let's go. I love that it actually activates my chaos gem. Like, I'm apparently flying according to my chaos gem. There we go. Turn my chaos gem off. So hopefully I'll arrive on Mercury, I'll be perfectly safe, and I'm actually going to use the digital miner because I need quite a lot of ores from Mercury. I need carbon ore, I need mercury ore, I need a few other things. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to set up the digital miner as a way of collecting the ores I need from Mercury. That is, if Mercury is safe. So let's head over to Mercury. No. Mercury. Launch. There we go. So it says I need tier 3 ISO protective armor, tier 3 thermal armor, which I've got. Which makes sense because it requires dash ingots, which is the tier 2 ore. Hold space to slow down. It's like landing on the moon. Make sure you hold space or else you're going to immediately die. I currently can't see a planet. How high up are we? We're at Y 340, 320, 300. And you can see my radiation is still really high. Okay. Oh, there we go. There we go. We got a planet now. My radiation is still very high indeed. Unfortunately, I have been sleeping while I've been doing other things, but I often, I get distracted by doing stuff, and then I suddenly realise that I'm not actually sleeping when it's nighttime. So that at the moment is my only way of dealing with radiation, which is the minor problem. Hopefully we're not going up in radiation, or at least not going up in radiation particularly quickly. So let's grab a teleporter and let's grab our Mercury band, which I have named, and we can pop down teleporter, bind it to Mercury, and there we go. I haven't been to the asteroid yet, which is one of the places I do need to go because that's going to have a lot of asteroid ingots, a lot of asteroid metal, but in the meantime we're going to have a little look around here because we need quite a few things. Ooh! Solid meteoric iron. Oh! Wow, okay. So maybe we don't need to go to the asteroids to get meteoric iron, because this apparently has like ridiculously big meteors on it. So I think that's kind of my meteoric iron needs dealt with for, well, forever. I'm going to have to put those into a storage drawer when I get home, but that's fine. Let's just have a look around quickly. What are you? Let's grab a bucket and find out what that is. You are infected water. This fluid has extreme reactors compatibility. What are the uses of infected water? We can make iodized salt in a purifier. I need iodized salt. How hard is a purifier to make? Filters are just paper and string. Come on then. There we go. Filters are just paper and string. The basic solar panel's easy enough. Compressed carbon we get on this planet, that's string mesh. And I need iodized salt to make the basic decontamination wall, which requires volcanic ingots, lapis, filters, iodized salt, and mercury batteries. I can make a decontamination arch. I can make a decontamination arch. Excellent. So you, infected water, are going into my system because you're going to be my source of decontamination later on. Lovely. Very useful indeed. There's more of these meteoric iron asteroids, so we're definitely not going to have a problem with meteoric iron. Let's pop down in here. See if we can't go down and find carbon and mercury ore. Here we go. So carbon ore and mercury tin. I don't want mercury tin, I want mercury itself. Mercury iron, mercury copper, mercury ore. Right, there we go. So we've got one carbon, one mercury. I think that's everything we need from this planet. Let's just have a quick check in the quest book, because the quest book does say what we are looking for from this planet. Mercury. We're looking for potash shards, mercury and carbon. Potash is just a brick in and of itself. Okay. So the question is, where do we find potash on Mercury? Is it on the surface or is it deep underground, past the bedrock? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly grab my mercury pendant. I might grab a couple of blocks of this, like so. And then when we go home, we'll go back to our mercury point. What I can do is I can actually use my overworld amulet to pop home quickly, and I can set up storage for all of these items from mercury. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly pop into my compact machine. We'll set up storage for all the items on mercury that we've sort of found so far that we want. I added obsidian chickens to my 10-10-10 chicken setup as well. Obsidian chickens are very useful because all of your void and sort of reinforced things require it. So, mercury ore and mercury surface rock, mercury subsurface rock, carbon, tin ore I don't really care about, but mercury stone and solid meteoric iron, that can all go in there. So I want one of each of those because this is the stuff we want. And yeah, then we can head back to mercury quickly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the digital miner and I'm going to see if I can basically digitally mine all of the stuff I want. So I do need to pop back to Venus to get some meteoric iron using a silk touch pick at some point, but digital miner, let's pop you down here. And then let's get a crate and a capacitor. Where's your... Yep, you've got an output on every side. That's good. We can pop you down here. We can pop the crate down there. And then we can go configure. Delete that filter. So, new filter. Item, this guy, save, new filter, item, this guy, save. So are these status all okay? Fuzzy mode, no. Required to replace, no. So I want this on silk touch mode and auto eject mode. So that's starting to mine now. And we are getting carbon ore. Excellent. So what we need carbon for is we need carbon to make carbon plates, actually. So we need, first off, we need to make carbon wafers, but carbon wafers aren't massively useful. We need to make compressed carbon. Compressed carbon is used for the next level of thermal padding, the next level of rocket booster. It's used for purifiers and crystallizers, and it's also used to make heavy duty plates, which is the next tier of rocket plate. And then we need mercury to make mercury, compressed mercury as well. Again, nothing particularly special there, but once we get into the compressed mercury, we've got mercury batteries, we've got basic solar evaporation chambers, block smashers, and we've also got the heavy duty plates for the next tier. So these are the things we need for that. So I'm going to go on a quick explore and see if I can find some potash as well. That's infected water. Let's see if we can find some potash as well, which might be underground. Ooh, blocks of Desh as well. Oh wow, once you get to Mercury, you have everything you need. Look at that, blocks of Desh. I'm impressed. And we have a little village, which is made of mercury stone. And we can trade lunar sapphires for oxygen masks, oxygen tanks, oxygen gear, partially filled fuel canisters, parachutes, batteries, food. We can trade empty canisters and a gem for food. We can get a tier 2 rocket schematic. Oh, can you trade for tin for compressed tin? Saplings for lunar... Okay. There are some interesting little trade options here. So yeah, I'm going to go on and explore around the planet, and I will come back, cut back in if we find anything super interesting. I will see you in a little bit. Hello everyone, and we are back on Earth. The reason we are back on Earth is kind of twofold. First off, the solid meteoric iron and blocks of desh were getting a little bit silly in my inventory. Secondly, yeah, we hit 100% radiation and nearly died. So yeah, I need to make a decontamination chamber. Which means I do need to pop back to Mercury just to grab the ores from my digital miner. So that I have what I need. Do I have meteoric iron or desh anywhere in here? We have desh there. Excellent. So the question is, do we have meteoric iron in there at all? We do have meteoric iron in our drawer storage. I'm not sure where the meteoric iron is in our drawer storage, but so it's not in a compacting drawer because it hasn't automatically turned into ingots. So we'll take it all out and we'll put it in our spare compacting drawer up here. There we go. Now it does mean that somewhere in here there is also a meteoric iron and desh drawer, but that's fine. These guys take priority anyway. So what we need to do now is we need to basically make a decontamination chamber, because we've reached a point now where I need a decontamination chamber. Now I've never actually used one. So I'm going to hop to Mercury, I'm going to grab the ores out of our chest, and I'm going to come straight back because my radiation is now high enough that it's starting to kill me while I'm on a radioactive planet. Which is mildly frustrating, but let's grab that. Hop around here, grab those. Can I give you speed upgrades or something? I can actually give you upgrades if I need to. So if I don't have enough, I can come back, pop some upgrades in, maybe load the chunk if I have to. So, we can get 2 carbon dust from it, and let's have a look. What is our best way of getting carbon out of this? A purification chamber gives us 3 if we give it oxygen. An enrichment chamber gives us 2. A grinder gives us 2. 3 if we do a tectonic initiator. 3 if we do it with rich slag. We do actually have rich slag chickens, so we could induction smelt it with rich slag. 4 if we induction smelt it with rich slag in a pyrotheum condenser. So yeah, we've got a few ways of improving this. So let's have a look at a decontamination chamber. For this guy, we need 2 volcanic ingots, which we need volcanic rock found on Jupiter or Io. Ah, dang it, so we do need to go to Jupiter or Io. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm just going to have to knock down my radiation by sleeping. That's mildly frustrating because I can't really sleep because it's not nighttime, I don't think. Is it nighttime yet? No, it's not. So, that's a mild problem. I mean, it is just slow tick damage. So what I could do is I could just drink regen potion. Let's see if that works. Let's see what difference that makes. Yeah, I seem to be filling up fast enough that it doesn't matter. Dang it, I don't have any osmium dust. That's fine. So there's a crater over here, but that's not a... No, that's not a dungeon. So we're looking for a dungeon. So what I'll do is I'll just sort of survive off food and potions and just keep having a look around for a dungeon. Oh, this is going to be fun. I'm not even at 100% radiation, am I? I'm at like 94% radiation. Do I like instant die if I get to 100%? I probably instant die if I get to 100%, don't I? Oh, that's frustrating. Because I don't have any way... Like, the fact that you can... That can happen so easily. Because you have to go around finding dungeons. So I suppose it kind of stops you from spending all your time... all your time on planets, but still at the same time that's really kind of... Sorry about that noise in the background, someone outside is apparently trimming a hedge. Perfect timing. That's really quite frustrating. 9, 10, 10. There we go. Let's put those chickens in and then we'll grab some seeds and we'll breed up these chickens. So we'll get 10, 10, 10 diamond chickens, which I'm going to add to my 10, 10, 10 chicken array. I am just slowly building up my chicken array. Sand and Yellorium is going to give me cyanite in the end. So, we do need potash shards, which again is from mercury, and again, like, so frustrating. Let's just crush this up into... Nope, can't crush it up. Okay, let's put it in a pulverizer. Yeah, we can put it in a pulverizer. Doubling it is fine, because we're going to be able to get plenty of it. One thing we do need to do is crush up some osmium. And what I'm going to have to do is I'm just going to have to look into kind of how to... get my radiation... Well, I know how to get my radiation down. I need a decontamination arch, which requires me to go to Jupiter and Io. Which I can't do because my radiation is too high and because I can't gather what I need from that planet yet. What I might do is take a chunk loader. I think I've got a better chunk loader. Yeah, I've got one of these chunk loaders, which aren't hard to make. So we can pop up to... can pop up quickly to Mercury and pop down one of these chunk loaders. And that will allow... lag. That will allow our miner to continue mining even when we're not there. %25 radiation, is that why? That's probably why. I should have made the speed upgrades first, because I'm going to want to pop back up there and give it the speed upgrades. Let's give it 4 speed upgrades. Redstone and iron. Pop you there so that I can do you, process you later. Now the thing is, we're not like instantly dying as soon as we hit the planet's surface, which is fine, but we can't really go exploring looking for materials and things in this state. We're definitely going to need to take some more RF up here. I don't really have any interdimensional RF production though at the moment. So capacitor, high voltage capacitors, and if we just go over here and go 1, 2, 3, and then if we take a hammer from our tool bag and go output, 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 input, 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 then we can just chain them together beside it, because each one of these is going to be 4 million RF, and it can gather a decent amount of materials for 4 million RF. So let's have a look at the purification chamber, because the purification chamber allows us to make salts. This guy. No, not that guy. Purifier. Basic purifier. So, wool cloth, easy enough to make. We've been making that for a while now. And string meshes should be easy enough to make. They're just string. There's 64 of them, just in case we need a few more. 1, 2, 3, 4 filters. Compressed dash we already have. We've got string mesh, so we need this guy, which means we need to make some solar panels. That's not difficult at all. And we need the central sort of steel pole, which is just steel compressed. That's fine. Nothing particularly difficult here, and this will allow us to make a purification chamber. We need compressed carbon. That's what we need, not compressed dash. So that's fine. We'll grab some carbon and we'll put a little bit of carbon through here, and we'll make some compressed carbon. Compressed carbon will allow us to compressed carbon will allow us to make the purification chamber. Carbon and filters. Makes sense. So now, I presume it has a power input on top, so we're going to need to give it power from the top. Yeah, looks like it. We should have some spare energy cables. This thing should attach to here just fine. Now, I've never used a purification chamber, so that doesn't attach in the slightest. Okay. Can I put power in the bottom? Nope. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to power this. I can place batteries in there. That's fine. So, what do I do with you? I just put buckets of infected water in and get out iodized salt and clean water buckets. By the looks of it, that looks like what it says. Infected water and radioactive water give iodized salt and nothing. Okay. So we do have some batteries. Let's have a look. Some Galacticraft core batteries. So let's have a quick peek. If I put a battery in here, that powers you up, and if I get some infected water and put the infected water in here, oh, does it need ionized salts? I think it needs ionized salts rather than gives ionized salts. That's mildly frustrating if it needs it rather than gives it. So the only way to get this is with a basic crystallizer and liquid crystallized water, which can be found on Circes and Europa. Well, I have Circes, I just need a level 4 rocket. So that's not too bad. But I don't know what I can really do with clean water. Basic decrystallizer, basic crystallizer. What do you need? You need blocks of mercury and compressed carbon. Okay. Two blocks of mercury. And let's compress up some more carbon. We're going to need a lot of mercury and carbon, though. That's the kind of the big thing that we're going to have to sit on, is just huge amounts of mercury and carbon. So we can make ourselves a basic crystallizer. We can't use it yet because we don't have what we need, which is liquid crystal water, but that's okay. We can pop it down here. It does have a power connector. So let's see, can we connect you directly to power? Or are you going to be awkward like the other planet, Galacticraft Planets ones? Yeah, you're going to be awkward. Fine, 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 fine. Is it nighttime? Looks like it might be night. Let's see if we can grab a kip. No, bed is too far away. There we go. So yeah, so at the moment our main issue is just the sheer amount of radiation we're getting. We need to find the tier 4 rocket. But I think in the meantime, as we can't do anything do with this because of our radiation level, I think what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to do a little bit of work on our blood magic. And primarily what I'm going to look at is I'm going to look at the next quest in one of the next quests in the blood magic tree. If we go over to using blood, which is the rituals. With rituals we can make, well, we make the ritual tools, ritual diviner, and we make the elemental tools, inscription tools, etc. And the advantage of this thing is we can create a well of suffering, and the well of suffering will allow us to basically kill people off automatically, kill creatures off automatically, and in exchange automatically create blood, so we won't have to sit here slaughtering things. So what we need for that is we need the triggers for each of the inscribers. The elemental inscribing tools up here. So we need a block of lapis, a magma cream, an obsidian, and a gas tier. A block of lapis, an obsidian, which are up to 7,000 of now that we've got the automated production going on. A magma cream, and a gas tier. Gas tiers we don't automatically produce, but we do have something that lets us make gas tiers. Now, each of these requires 1,000 blood. Now, we do have these speed augments. I've put in 8 speed runes, so we're going to use blood up really quickly, and it's going to finish off pretty dang fast. Now, the actual ritual stone itself, I've done previously. The making of a huge number of ritual stones, because making of ritual stones is literally just making slates and then combining them with stone. So it's not difficult to do. The actual ritual stones themselves are literally just 4 reinforced slates, 4 obsidian, and the orb. Not hard to make at all. We do need to make a master ritual stone, which again is just ritual stones, obsidian, and an orb. So I made a whole bunch of those previously. While I was waiting for that stuff to process, I made a whole bunch of those. So now we need to make a ritual diviner. Ritual diviner is pretty simple, really. We should just be able to create a ritual diviner. Now, if memory serves, if I hold shift and right click, yeah. Ritual of the full spring, ritual of the nether, ritual of the green grove, ritual of high jump, magnetism, satiated stomach, interdiction, containment, suppression, zephyr, filler, wilderness, ritual of full so ritual of suppression, zephyr, filler, timberman, full spring, nether, grove, high jump, magnetism, satiated stomach, interdiction, containment, suppression, zephyr, filler, timberman, full spring. Wait, what? Oh, do I need something else for the ritual of... You can make rituals by having master ritual stone, a certain pattern, and then inscribing them with the correct elemental tools. You can make a ritual diviner that does all that for you. What about the suffering? Because there should be a ritual of suffering. So let's have a look, see if we can get a blood magic book other than the Inspector Scandulum. Sanguine, there we go, that's what we want. We want a sanguine. The Ritual Master. The basic rituals. The basic of rituals, yes. So that just tells you that you have to put stuff down. So what we've got the Sprawlspring, Nether, Green Grove, Magnetism, the Crusher. Some form of innate link. The ritual will look inside its crushing range, default 3x3 area below the entry, and break 1 block at a time at a rate of 1 block every 2 seconds. Okay, so that's like auto mining. Speed, Well of Suffering. For those who prefer to use mobs instead of their own health, the Well of Suffering damages all living non-player entities in a 10 block radius and places the health in a connected altar. The ritual will look for a blood altar within its range, checking 5 blocks horizontally and 10 blocks vertically. Unaltered. When it finds its altar, it will store its location internally. If there isn't an altar nearby, the ritual will not work. The ritual will deal 1 HP damage and place 25 LP, 100 for peaceful animals, which can be augmented with sacrifice runes. Okay, so we should be able to the Green Grove, High Jump, Magnetism, Satiate, Interdiction, Containment, Suppression, Zephyr, Filler, Timmermans, Full Spring, Nether. No, why can I not make Ritual of the Nether? Ritual of Will of Suffering. Doesn't actually show me how to do that particular ritual. For that one I need these, which needs a tier 4 altar, which I don't have. So let's see if I can do this from memory. And from memory I mean from a wiki article. Ah, you need to be... Okay, you need to have the Dusk Diviner. You need to have the Dusk Diviner to make it work. Does that mean you now need Dusk Stones? Let's have a look. Okay, so it looks like we need to make a tier 4 altar because we need the Dusk Stones. So let's set this to tier 4 and have a look what we need. Oh, do we have a tier 4 altar? Do I have a divination sigil anywhere? Divination sigil. Am I already on tier 4? I might already be on tier 4. Because I think tier 1 is just on its own. Let's make a second block, so we need 2 of them just in case. Oh, yeah, we are on that tier of altar. We are on a tier 4 altar. I am surprised. I did not think we were. I thought we were on a tier 3. So we can make the Well of Suffering. That's good. So we won't have to keep doing that. So let's make the Ritual Diviner Dusk. We need 2 demonic slates, which is tier 4 altars and 15,000. Well, we are on a tier 4 altar, so that's fine. And we have enough in there to do 1 demonic slate. So what I'll do is I will fast forward through this because we're just going to be sitting here, and as they drain this, I'm just going to be replacing them basically. Use it. There you go, there's demonic slate. Why aren't you conjuring people? Because you have run out of monster essence. Why have you run out of monster essence? Because for some reason that chunk got confused. So we need to put another stone in there to get our second demonic one. So we can make demonic tier runes as well. Because if we have a look at the runes, some of these runes require demonic ones. So like the rune of augmented capacity, which is like the rune of capacity but more powerful. And then we've also got the acceleration orb and the rune of the orb, and even the charging rune, which requires demonic slate, which apparently kind of changes entirely how the blood altar works. The charging rune apparently makes it so that the blood altar uses blood differently. Instead of using life points, it uses blood charge, and blood charge doesn't get sort of destroyed or damaged over time, stuff like that. So there's our ritual diviner of the dusk. There was Well of Suffering. Speed, Suppression, Zephyr Expulsion, Living Evolution, Forsaken Souls, Fractured Crystals, Filler, Timberman, Siphoning, Gate of the Fold, Falling Tower, Leaden Soul, Ellipsoid, Fasted Crystal. So there's a lot of pretty interesting things. Now, if memory serves, I need to do like... I need to do like... Not sure why I had mining fatigue there, but for a short period and it wasn't mining at full speed, but... So, hopefully this is enough space. So, Well of Suffering. I think I need to take out this block, this block, this block. So not the center block, so I need to take out... I need to take out this block, this block, this block, this block, and this block. And we will take out these and just put all of them in. Which ones can I not put in? Which ones is it unable to install right at this moment? I see. It needs corner blocks as well. I think it needs me to put out these ones. Yeah. Let's just take all of this out and just see. Because it's still struggling to build the ritual. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Let's just take all of this out and... There we go. that's installed that. So now we have a ritual of suffering installed. We should be able to place all these blocks back in. Kind of like the environmental tech building in very many ways. Kind of like once it's built, as long as you're not blocking the key components, you can fill it back in and the game doesn't mind, doesn't really check for obstructing blocks. I will have to have a look at some of the other rituals, because there are a lot more rituals than there were in 1.12, which is what I'm used to. But the idea then would be that I can kind of encase this area, and mobs will just be basically sort of trapped victims in here. I can even set up my kind of mob spawner in such a way that this area is... Oops. Pop you back in. I can even set up my mob spawner in such a way that this area is kind of where it drops mobs. I can put up glass panels around the outside. I can set a spawner up. Maybe like set a spawner up down here so that it's just spewing mobs out in this area. And now we need a weak activation stone. This guy, who is a diamond into the altar. And we'll need 50,000 blood to activate it, to activate the ritual. We look at our orbs. Let's grab our Magician's Orb out. We can charge up our Magician's Orb as well. No, that's a weak blood orb. I don't want a weak blood orb. I want a weak activation stone. No? I thought you needed an activation stone to activate the rituals. Small red gem tumbled out and knocked against Hyperia's foot. Immediately a bright red light emitted from the dust in the box. Carrying naturally, an explosion occurred. We learned that we needed 4 different things. We needed a bunch of ritual stones placed around them in a set pattern, a few different inks that are applied to the ritual stones to help further the thing, central ritual stone to act as central power conduit, and a crystal that activates the ritual. So let's have a look at blood, a lava crystal. Okay. So we need 3 buckets of lava. 3. We can grab those nice and easily from over by our crafting area, because we've got this guy. Let's make a lava stone. So previously what you used to have to do is make a lava stone and then turn it into a ritual stone, but that appears to have kind of been turned off somewhat. Let's just move this here momentarily. And then dig you out, you out, you out, and you out. And we'll grab some more and glass. Let's just grab some quite clear glass. Probably should have done the quite clear glass first because they're going to be wandering off now. That's okay. I've kind of messed this up a little bit, but that's fine. There we go. So now we've got our little kind of area where we've got that. And we'll just take the vector plates and, if we can, go like so, and just pop vector plates, pushing them down. There we go. That'll do for now. So they pop out, they get transported down and dropped into here, which is our well of suffering. Now we just need to fill up our magician's blood orb with enough blood. That should be enough. It should be about 50,000 to activate. So let's grab you out. And theoretically, we go... Ah, we do have to make a weak activation crystal. I kind of thought we did. How much do we need for a weak activation crystal? 10,000 blood. That shouldn't be a problem. Why have you stopped spawning things? I think probably because there are too many mobs in the area. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Now, because these guys are passive mobs, these guys are neutral mobs, which are villagers. What we're actually going to do is we're actually going to get 100 life points instead of 25 per villager. Oh, look at that. Doop, doop, doop. It's actually like producing blood faster than we can use it. The question is how long? There we go. All of them died. Now you can use witches, which self-heal, and there are a couple of different things you can use that self-heal, but for the most part, like, we don't really need to do that. How much blood do we have in our system? Almost got our 50,000 life points back, and this is keeping up. Almost perfectly keeping up, actually. Slightly not because of like when things die, but I wonder if there's any way I can can I make like splash potions of regen that pop out maybe? Do I have any splash potions of regen? Splash potions of regen. So that does make them last longer. It doesn't make them last forever, but it does make them last longer. How many splash potions do I have? I have 700 splash potions of regen of 45 seconds each. Let me think about this. If I get if I make myself a dispenser, this guy. Can't believe I don't have a decent bow. Let's make a dispenser like that. Then I need to point it basically facing into that area. So, like that. Then we get a timer. And I want the timer to be set to go off every 45 seconds. So 45 seconds divided, or times by 20 is 2 times 4, which is 8, times 100, which is 800, plus 100, which is 900. 900 should be every 45 seconds. Yeah. Every 45 seconds. That's splash potions of healing, but splash potions of regen, 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 regen. Then if we get an item conduit, like this. So yeah. So what we can do when we actually need it, we don't need it at the moment because like we're not actually using up any blood at the moment. So I can actually pause that. Now what happens when they all die? And then I need a redstone torch. Or a lever. A lever will do. So if I pop a lever underneath this guy, like so, that should stop that guy from activating and ever throwing any potions. Now, hopefully what happens is the ritual realizes there's no one within range to damage, and the ritual stops using up any power from my gem. So let's have a look. Yeah, it stopped using power from the gem. That's excellent. So now what we have is essentially we have unlimited blood whenever we need it. Because all we need to do is turn on our sacrifice machine. And our sacrifice machine will just make endless blood. And with the regeneration potion, we won't be killing them as quickly, which just means that we're not going to be having the problem of like items stack up and things. Got tons of regen potions, so it doesn't matter. So this is like half an hour's worth of regen potions that go off every 45 seconds and just spray into the villagers and regen them. There we go, that's fine. What we can do is we can tweak this though. So yeah, I want you and I want you. But what we really just want to do is So none of this will interfere with anything. So we're just going to pop that in. We'll make a little pen here, and I'm just going to pop this here so that the potions always hit here and always splash in this area. But they can climb up onto this, so we do need some more clear glass. Shouldn't be able to walk out of this pit. Nope, that's fine. They are now trapped in their little pit down here. And they'll all just go in, crowd into that pit, be damaged by the Well of Suffering whenever we need blood. So, that is... Why are we getting skeleton horse? Why are we getting so many skeleton horses? That's another question. But that is trip to Mercury. We have radiation problems. But what I will do is I will say thank you very much for watching. I have been the Gaming Droid. This has been Modern Skyblock 3. We've been to Mercury, we've gotten Mercury ore, and we've gotten carbon. Haven't found potash yet, and we haven't been to the dungeons yet. But we have radiation problems. But what I will do is I will pop back onto Mercury, see if I can find the dungeons and the potash. We'll pop that in the next episode. But for the meantime, in between episodes, I will also be using this to produce lots and lots of slates, produce some more capacity runes, speed runes, displacement runes, all these lovely things, produce a few more barrels of blood that we can use to store blood beyond what the capacity of the altar is. And I will see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye, everybody.